watchers, welcome back to the channel, to today's review where I want to take a look at this one. This is the Skmei Full Metal G. That's what I am christening this model. So this is model 1456, which is of course a digital multi-function type of watch, but it is by no means the same as the watch that it homages or that it copies. So what I have over here is my GWM-5610 model, which I reviewed a while back, sometime last year, and it was very popular actually. The video that this went up, and this is just for comparison in terms of sizing. So you can see it is essentially the same size with some very small differences. Thickness wise, the real G-Shock on the right there is slightly thicker, but in terms of the actual case dimensions and the dial kind of layout, you can see that it's taken entirely from these tough solar models. So this isn't the model that it completely copies, of course. The one that it does take a lot from is actually the GMW-B5000 model, or the Full Metal G. So B5000D1 is the stainless steel model that this one really kind of apes and copies a lot from, and I'll put a picture on the right of screen here for you to see how it does compare directly side by side in terms of looks, and you will see that essentially it's the same thing. It's taken all the looks from there. Okay, so this watch is available from Banggood, who actually made this available for the review, and it goes for $23 right now as I've checked it. It's always on sale to some extent. Right now it's going for $23. The full retail is somewhere around 50 or 60, but I think you never really have to pay that. Right now I can't find it on other sites, but look, if I do find it on other retail, I will put the links down the bottom for you to check out. In terms of the case, so let's just get into the case size here. So the case is 43 millimeters across. So between my fingers here is 43 millimeters. That's same as the real thing. In terms of thickness, it is only 10.5 millimeters thick versus 13 millimeters for the real thing. And I showed you, this side by side before. So the real G-Shock is, as you can see there, in terms of profile, is slightly thicker, but that's the only difference in the dimension. The length here between my thumbs, right, I guess you can call that the lug to lug, is 47.5 millimeters, same as the real thing, and the height of the face, I guess between my thumbs here, is 34 millimeters, again same as the real thing. This is in steel and kind of this steel bracelet, so the adjusted weight is not super light like other G-Shocks. This is actually 130 grams adjusted weight. The full weight of the real Full Metal G, documented by CASiO, is 167 grams, which is a lot more substantial. So this one, of course, is not going to be the same as the real thing. Okay, showing you the case back here. So check out that case back here. It's difficult for me to show, I think, with contrast, but you can see there, it's not a screw down case back. It's not even secured by screw in positions. It's actually just a friction case back. Okay, that's what it is. In contrast to the real thing is actually a proper screw down case back. And I'll put pictures here for you to see how the real thing looks like. It's a beautiful DLC coated screw down case back. Water resistance, this one is rated just at 30 meters, so kind of really just a nominal dress watch type of rating, whereas the real one is a G-Shock 200 meter rating. The LCD display in this watch is a very basic LCD display, and you can see all the letters and numbers are made up by single LCD elements or a few LCD elements, whereas the real one, and I'll just use this one as an example, you can see the top right box there is actually a dot matrix box. Just show you. Right, it can actually display different letters there. This one actually is just a number display, and not to mention the real one is actually also a super twisted pneumatic LCD, a better LCD technology that supposedly give you higher visibility, higher contrast, higher angles of view and all that. That's what they tell me STN does. The glass is mineral, so that's the same as the real thing. Maybe not the same quality, but the real G-Shock also uses mineral glass. And the lighting here, I'll just show you. Right, you can see there is, I want to say it's amber. Basically, there's two side lights there, whereas the real thing does have a backlight LED. Right, again, different. This one's going more for a retro style look. I've no doubt they can do a backlight if they wanted to, and they've done that in some of their other watches, but they've gone for this retro side lighting, which is what the old G-Shocks used to have. All right, let's move on to the actual module in here, which is, as you can see, it's a quartz multifunction module. Let's talk about what it features. So this is the main time display with the date and month and day of week. You can see at the top there. Right, let's just show you. So this is alarm, and you can actually test the alarm. Okay, so that's how loud it sounds. This is a time signal mode, and that's how you would turn on and off the time signal. Right, again, back to alarm, turn on and off the alarm. That's just how it is. All right, stopwatch. So this stopwatch is a 24-hour 1/100th of a second, and I'll just show you, 1/100th of a second up the top there. Right, reset. 24-hour stopwatch, that's same as the real thing. Right, this is the second time display, which you can't really change the seconds, but you can change the hour and minute, which makes sense, right? You sync the seconds with the real time, and this is set to GMT. That's really what I like to set the dual or the second time display. In the real one, of course, you're getting world time with multi-cities. This one doesn't have that. And then it's got a 24-hour timer, 1 second resolution, which again, let's just start the timer. Okay, it's the same as the real thing. The real one also only has a 1 second resolution timer. That's all you need for timing. Now, what does it not have compared to the real one? Of course, the real one has 5 different alarms with snooze function. It does have the world time with 40 different cities and time zones, and it does have tough solar, multi-band 6, Bluetooth, all those other functions you are getting when you pay $500 retail for the real one, or in fact a little bit more than that now. It's going for aftermarket because it is such an immensely popular model. That's not what you're getting in this $23 watch. You're getting mostly the looks, and we'll go into that in the conclusions here. Okay, so that's the description of the case and module. Now let's go on to the bracelet, and you can see it is actually a multi-link steel bracelet with push pins for adjustment. Okay, just show you, it's not screw links by any means. It's not the field composite construction of the black watch that I have there. It is just kind of this simple solid links for this bracelet construction here. Is it a type of steel? It feels slightly hollow. I won't be surprised if it's not 316L steel and it's slightly hollow in construction. And that's what kind of I expect, in a watch that costs $20 something, and I wouldn't expect something more than that. But they've gotten really a lot of the looks, haven't they? Okay, the class here is pressed metal, right? Pressed metal housing, but it does have a push button release, right? That right there, with 4 position micro adjustment. Okay, so that's really what we're getting for that steel bracelet here, with polished finishings aping the original, right? That's really what it's going for. And the case, just to tell you the finishing here, right? You're getting polished around the side there, along with a brush face. That's really what is like on the real CASiO, and that's really what they've gone for. Okay, so that's really how it looks like on my 17 centimeter wrist. So remember, it's 47.5, at that kind of lug to lug distance here, but you got these end lugs, the lugs that attach to the case that don't actually turn down. And I'll let you see it at the side here. It kind of sticks out a bit. It kind of makes the watch look larger than it should on your wrist, because that you're really dealing with that much length to sit on your wrist there. But that's how it looks like on my wrist. Okay, it's not too bad despite all that, but it does stick out a bit, those end links that you can see there. Okay, that's most of the description. So again, just showing you the finishing. You're getting mostly polished surfaces on here, right, including the bottom as well, polished all the way, and the only brush finishing you're getting is the top surface of the face here, or I guess you can call that the bezel around the dial there. All right, so guys, that's really the entire watch here. So what are the strengths about this watch? It is a kind of an homage, or some people would say this is a knockoff. Well, I call it an homage because it's not trying to be a Casio. It's super cheap. It's got the stolen good looks at unbelievable value execution. $20 something. How can they pull this off? It's just amazing what brands like Skmei and Skmei and some of the other Chinese brands do put out. For what you're getting, the feel of this is probably at least 50%, if not higher, of the real thing, right? You're not going to mistake this for the real thing, but if you want the looks, well, this is 5% of the cost, for 10% of the function, and probably more than 80% of the actual good looks of the real thing. Now, the bad things, well, look, the execution is really only skin deep, right? You hold this in hand, you're going to feel that there's a difference in quality, the difference in heft, right? This case back doesn't even look the same. The links don't feel solid. Okay, they feel, they're serviceable, but they just don't have the heft of solid 316L steel. And you can see that end link has a bit of a pressed metal construction there. So you see that end link right there where I'm pointing with my finger. And then the position of the end links, I will say, they don't really move, and that's as far down as it goes. So you kind of drapes down like that over your wrist, which is not a good look. I think the real one also has a fixed position. People have complained about the fixed positions of the end links here, but it does angle down a little bit more from all the videos and pictures that I've seen. It sits on the wrist a little bit better. I'll just show you with this one. This is not the same as the Full Metal G, but you can see the curve of this one. It curves down a little bit more, right? It's not quite the same as that one, right? In terms of the way it sits on the wrist, this definitely sits a bit better, significantly better, I would say. So, there we go, guys. That's really my thoughts on this Skmei Full Metal G1456 module. Let me know your thoughts on this review on this watch. If you have any Skmei models, I would like to hear your experiences in owning and running these things, which, a lot of them do admittedly kind of copy the looks of Casio or other watches, but, they do still stick their name on. And, for people who, are living in different areas to where we are, to Perth, Australia, or the United States and all that, and in terms of affordability, I think fair enough. If you can't afford the real thing, and even some people I've met in the clients that I serve, some of them are not of great means. I've seen them wear Skmei and Skmei, and that's okay. I don't mind that. That's what you can get, and you're getting most of the looks without copying the name completely. Fair enough, and good on you for choosing, something that you can afford and within your means. So guys, let me know what you think. If you enjoy my videos, do consider subscribing. I put out new content every week, always aiming to be objective and unbiased about all things horology. Thank you again for sticking with me, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time.